Welcome to John Thompson Music Podcast number 1. My guest today is a professional guitar instructor, composer, producer with years of professional experience. He teaches private guitar students in New Jersey and also online. He could be reached at ronnashguitar.com. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ron Nash. Yeah, it's funny how when you change up the rhythm, you can make it sound like a totally different song. It's rhythm I think has a lot to do with style. I really do. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean,
Like the rhythm of things. Like I know on the bass, like if I'm playing, it's gonna sound like rock, man. Or if I'm playing something funky, that's a whole different thing. And I mean, there's only 12 notes, so it's all the same notes. Just how you.
yeah, but you know what? Like, if you had, like, I know when I was a kid, my father had, like, those one of those organs that had it was like a piece of furniture you'd have in your house instead of a piano. And he had the drum, like there's like the drum box on it, so you got like a salsa
those.
beat.
Oh yeah.
But if you pop those on, I used to do that as a kid, and I still encourage people to do it if they can find those cheesy keyboards. Like, if you hit a swing beat, it's going to make you play different than when you hit like a rock and roll beat. So, I thought, regardless of the chords, those drum beats and stuff dictate the way you could actually play.
Yeah, because well, unless you have no musical talent and you're playing totally against the groove, I guess. Like I heard Dave Matthews say one time that he writes a song and then the first person he gets together with is the drummer to set up the groove of things, and that's the way he does it a lot of times. I mean, there's no set way to compose or write, but I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, but like that's why even I've given you stuff. Like, if I try to avoid giving like a band, or if you're going to record with people, like a dummy tracks with a drum beat, because then that's going to be stuck in their head. You're better off just giving someone a click, let them come up with they come up with, or if it's a more of a rock song, maybe get the whole band together and just freaking play the rhythm, play the basic tracks live.
Oh yeah. But that's what I mean. I mean, I was just talking more about the writing process, like before even, going into the studio or recording or anything like that. But yeah, let's see. What else do I have here on my things that? All right. Well, like I said in the intro, if people want to get in touch with Mr. Nash here, it's ronnashguitar.com, and on there you can find his resume, his books. You can download his books. You can contact him for teaching and all of that kind of good stuff. All right. So now that we got that,
And I will be selling a lot of gear on there too, because due to stupid lockdown here, I've been finding boxes to put stuff in that I want to get rid of. So,
oh, I see. Yes,
discounts, I mean, you'd be crazy not to buy it.
Our prices are insane.
And believe it, that's how long I've been teaching. Because
Crazy Eddie guy.
When Joe had the musicians workshop in Ocean Township, the anchor store for the mall that we were in, like an outside mall thing, was Crazy Eddie.
Oh.
And once they went out of business, no more foot traffic. It was like a ghost town by that store at that point. But yeah, his prices were insane. They were so insane he went out of business.
I know. Yeah, right. He just gave stuff away. Oh my
It's
gosh. All
messed
right.
up.
So you can contact Ron there at ronnashguitar.com. Um, all right. If you could tell people this question I have here, if you could tell people that want to play guitar one thing, what could it be? Like if you're gonna tell them like something to say, like, one thing, like what is it? Is inspiration, desire, work ethics?
Well, you know what? If you're a kid, I say try everything. Some things you're naturally going to be good at, and if you're interested in it, it's easier to learn something. You
Yeah,
know,
obviously if they're coming to you for a lesson, they're coming.
but I mean, some people just want to try it and they find out they're not really good at it or they don't really like it and they stop. But you know, I mean, most of the time with, like I said before, with the adults, I mean, a lot of times they just want to come in, have a little fun. They're not expecting to be the next Van Halen or nothing. They just want to have some fun with it. But, you get some serious kids and they just keep,
like
chomping at the bit.
like sponges, right? Some of them,
Oh, like I've been,
and then there's the other ones that come every week and they never did anything. But we won't talk about those bad boys.
hey,
Only the
man,
good boys, right?
thank God for those checks coming
Yeah,
in.
really. Keep them coming. All right, we're filming this during the pandemic, and we're up here in New Jersey, and it's kind of crazy up here right now. So actually, I saw, Ron will have also on his website some musical equipment that hopefully you can't resist, and pick some of that up. Actually, I bought that amp I bought off of you. I bought a SWR combo amp from Ron, and I've been using that. It's like right behind me, and I love it to death. Um, all right, let's see what else do we got here to cover. I know I got some more things that I wanted to.
Remember, though, if you see this lovely poster, comes
Oh,
free when you
that's
buy
right.
my pro package of both books, the workbook, my CD, and I'll give you a free poster.
Oh, look at that. And that's a nice poster too. There's a lot of artwork in that.
That was actually written. It was drawn by a guy, Johnny Tiskevich, who lives right up the street. His dad used to be my gym coach for 100 years in junior high and high school, and he works for Superman Comics. Very talented young man.
Wow, Superman comics.
I actually up there I
That's
have the
pretty cool.
original artwork because the concept is mine, but you know I have trouble like drawing stick figures, so I figured I'd leave it to him to
Leave it
draw.
to him.
Like I said before, some people are good at some things, some are good at others, and I
Yeah,
can't draw.
nah, well, I try, but I do okay sometimes, people tell me. Um, all right. So now that, we got into this pandemic thing here, with I know, nobody's really playing live. What are you kind of doing musically now? Are you working on some originals? Or are you recording? Or like,
Well,
what are you
actually,
doing now during this time of this pandemic?
I've been tweaking my studio because I'm just trying to get a few things to work together that haven't quite figured out yet. But yeah, I'm tracking some basic ideas for I got about 5 songs in the works now, so you know just writing, playing. I was practicing because I was doing that Dave Matthews tribute band thing, but
Oh yeah, let's talk about that a little bit since I mentioned Dave before. You kind of play a different role with that kind of band with that band. What maybe you could tell people like what are you covering in the Dave Matthews band?
well, basically, the guy Rob Messina he got all the Dave parts nailed. So the drummer he's had for quite a few years. The bass player, it's like I think this is his second bass player, and then he's having trouble with guitar players and just unreliable or couldn't travel. So, I used to teach his son, and I actually taught his guitar teacher. I taught Stan Chan a bunch of stuff at one, and Stan was teaching him. He's a great player too. Secret Asian man, Stan Chan.
There you go, Stan,
But
the secret agent, man.
But Rob's got that part down. I'm doubling those parts. I'm really trying to stick to like the other dude in that band. What's his Tim Reynolds or something?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm terrible with names. Like my son is a stats guy, and he's always like, "Dad, you don't know anybody's name."
Yeah, I think that's the dude, Tim. But I just put together. I have those Godin guitars, and I have Brian Moore guitars that have synth pickups and piezo pickups. And I've been doing during this pandemic is trying to get all three outputs of those guitars to work for this Dave Matthews situation. So I could use violin sounds and like some horn sounds from the synth. I could use some acoustic sounds, or I can use some electric sounds. So I'm actually working the bugs out of that. So hopefully next time we're able to play in front of human beings drinking alcohol, we might get a chance to hear all that stuff.
Yeah, well, that'd be great, and you got to keep me posted on on where you're playing. What about guitars? Do you have a favorite guitar? I know you have a bunch of guitars. Is there any one that's like a super favorite?
Well, I got about 35 guitars, but this guy,
I know it's so hard to pick.
This one has the most miles, man. This one has been played every day since about 1981. So.
Yep. It's always the acoustic guitars. Like I bought one of those acoustic electric basses, and it's always handy and it's always right there. And I have so many miles on that thing because it's right there. I always keep my instrument where I can see it, and it always calls me over like every day.
Yeah, well, it's a workhorse. It doesn't go out of tune, I mean, and it don't go out of tune, and then with this kind of bowl like this, like if you're at a party, you can always got a punch bowl too.
Yeah, so, punch bowl. You can make a nice
like a quart of vodka and some watermelon juice, and it's amazing.
Yep, and it won't even seep through because the back is plastic, right?
You can fit about 15 straws in there.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I got a lot of guitars that I like for different things. But as far as like that's here, so I'm gonna write songs on it. I'm gonna learn songs that I need to learn. I'm gonna do it on there. 90% of the time.
All right. Yeah, I got it. I got one for you here. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 albums would you take with you? Are there any 3 that
3 albums, let's see. That's kind of a tough one. But
I know it's so hard because there's so much great music.
Well, God, there's so many I would love, but well, I would go. I mean, Rush 2112, definitely.
Gotta have the Rush.
Then probably. I mean, there's to narrow 3 is tough, but then I would have to go. Let's see, 2112, maybe Operation Mindcrime from Queensryche, and let's see. I probably have to go with On Your Feet or On Your Knees, Blue Oyster Cult's first live album.
All right. There you go. Back to the beginnings with the Blue Oyster Cult stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I had a split town, remember I have no tracking devices, so you will not be able to follow my phone signal. And I have bags of cash and weapons, so when I disappear, I'm bringing more than 3 albums.
All right. There you go. There's no 3 album limit for me over here. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure I could stuff at least 10 in that half empty ammo case.
What have you been listening to lately? Like, what's like the latest stuff you've been listening to? Like, have you been listening to much stuff, or just basically you just writing and composing?
No, I've really been listening to anything new, to be honest with you. But I, I've been out in the garage. I've listened to the Kansas catalog there because last time I seen them like a few months ago, they were just unbelievable. And then I listened to the King's X catalog because I just love them guys.
Oh, King's X. Yeah, we have. We have Jerry living. The drummer from King's X lives in New Jersey now. Man, there's just so many great musicians from New Jersey. What about New Jersey musicians? Are there any that you really like? Like, I know, like Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi. That might not be your cup of tea, but is there anybody?
Honestly, I don't even know what rock bands are from Jersey. I mean, well, of course, Bon Jovi, because I went to school with Bon Jovi and played in bands with him as a kid. But man, his songs are okay. It's not my total cup of tea. But yeah, John, he's an all right dude. And
what was it like growing up at that time? Like the bands that were around. I remember I was playing at a art stocks club called the Playpen at that time, and a lot of these musicians would come in, and there was always a whisper about, oh, John Bon Jovi, and before I knew who they were, how did I know? I mean, I was playing in a R&B show band at the time, so I didn't know anything about that kind of music.
Well, I mean, I played with them. The thing, I don't remember who the first guy. They had like some talent show or something to play, and I'm talking, I don't know, maybe 8th or 9th grade or something like that.
Yeah, way back. Because you
And
grew up with him, right?
Yeah. But the thing was, they had a band, and I forget. I mean, I wish I could remember who was the guitar guy. I remember everybody else, but I guess the guy got stage fright or just couldn't cut it. And, I was like the kid who could play a Kiss solo and a BTO solo. So It's like, they got me. I mean, it probably wasn't even a week. And then we did that talent show, and actually I could still remember, I think, the songs. We did Taking Care of Business, Johnny Be Good, and one other song. We only did 3 for a talent show. But it'll come back to me. But
there you go. But that was a great time, huh? But back then, I mean, you were like, well, whatever. These are just like my school guys here,
Well, the thing is I played with them, and I was at that point. I told you earlier, I was into Cloister Cult and Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, and we did some of the songs that, played with him, just typical kiddie songs, Actually, the other one was Rock and Roll All Night. So
there you go. By Kiss, the Kiss song.
Right. So, I mean, we were playing that kind of stuff, just, garage band in my basement. Actually, we used to practice in my basement once I was in the band for a while. But, then he just wanted to do like something with all the kids in like the high school band, like the horns and stuff, which, I wasn't in the high school music program, they're all band geek kind of, wimpy kids, and I wanted to party, but, so he got a bunch of them and they did a Springsteen thing. And I was like, oh, I don't really like that shit. I mean, I want to play Cloister Cult and Black Sabbath. I don't want to play freaking Bruce and Southside Johnny songs,
Right.
So then he did that at Atlantic City Expressway. And then he just, that took off. He actually turned me on to Prophet, though, that local band that used to, because he's like, he was playing, you know, I was playing too, playing in different bands here and there. And he goes, dude, I know you don't like my stuff, but he's like, you probably like these guys because they were doing, you know, all the prog rock and some of the heavier rock that I like. So, you
Yeah,
know,
that
that's
was
how actually I got to know those guys because he mentioned them. Really.
a good local band, that Prophet.
Oh,
Yeah.
those guys were the fucking best, man. I love those
Yeah. I
guys.
mean, there was a lot of great bands back then that I knew, like, I don't know, Sam the Band and Prophet and Twisted Sister. I remember the first time I saw Twisted Sister at Art Stock's Royal Manor there on Route 1. I was like,
Well,
what the heck? What are these guys like? And I said to the guy next to me, standing there, I said, these guys are dressed like girls. Like, what's up with these guys? And the guy turns to me and he goes, you better not tell them that because they'll kick your ass. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, they may look like girls, but they're rough boys. I was like, oh, okay. I get it. I get it. Rock and roll, man. Peace.
they were.
I was playing Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I go into this place and there's these guys with the makeup and all of that stuff. What do you remember that time?
Oh, dude. Well, that was different because there was clubs. Like you weren't like playing in like now, like the last 20 years, you're mostly just playing in a bar, like a restaurant. It's like, hey, yeah, you guys could start as soon as we move this salad bar out of the way, and you could set up over there. You know, you got a fucking coffee machine next to your amp and all this
Yeah,
bullshit. You know,
yeah,
but you know, back then they had real, you know, stages with real bands. So you had, even I remember like just going to clubs, not that you like the music, but if you remember like all that new wave kind of skinny tie Joe Jackson shit was
yeah,
big, you
yeah.
know.
Yep,
And
yep.
there was club bands to watch and the Nines and even Baby Blue. I think Stan was Stan Steele, but or one of those something Backstreet. I mean,
Backstreet, yeah.
the point is, like now, like it didn't matter if you really liked the music because at least the bands were going to be good at that music they played, like Yazgers, you know. I mean,
Right.
White Tiger, TT Quick. I mean, there's so many fucking good bands, and
Like I remember going to see a few bands when we were putting Source together, the band that I was in for a while. We went to go see Waterfront and uh, who was that? Lenny Molinari's band there back in the day with Chucky singing. Uh, I can't remember their name now, but
before Yazgers.
yeah, I can't remember the name of the band now. And they were really big, but we went to go see a bunch of club bands, and man, there was some horn bands and rock bands, and and then the drinking age turned to 18. I remember, and like you said, everybody was playing in big clubs, big stages. Now they've dwindled pretty much down, I guess, because not that many people are going out.
Well, the drinking law too at one point changed it, and then you know all these DWI checkpoints. I mean, not saying you should go out and get snot hanging drunk and drive home, but
Right.
I mean they fucked up a lot of the clubs. I mean, they would just wait until people were leaving, and even if they weren't like driving stupidly, they had roadblocks, and if they smelled booze, you're fucking screwed. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's for sure. Now, I
that
mean, I don't drink when I go out at all because it was getting so strict. Just it does put a kibosh on stuff.
no, you got to know, man. It's like all right. That's why when you're playing, man, I'll have a couple in the second set, one before the third set, and by the time I'm packed up, I ain't having no more.
Yeah, yeah, you got to be safe.
You know, once in a while, unless Tommy Kelly buys me some drinks.
Yeah, yeah. Tommy, that Tommy Kelly, the singer from Southern Steel. He's always like, "Can I buy you a drink? Let me buy you a drink. Have a drink. Come on, have a drink." I'm like, Tom, I don't drink, you know. Oh, yes, you do. Have a shot. Come on, I'm buying you one. And of course, I do a shot with him and stuff like that.
Ah, I love
Great guy.
Tommy. He's so cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of great guys, and hopefully I can get some guys to come in and join up like you. All right. So, what do you think? What are you doing in what are your plans, in the future? I know that you're still playing with Kevin and company, and we spoke about the Dave Matthews thing, which I want to
Yeah, that's called the Rhyme
definitely
and
see
Reason.
that. Rhyme and Reason.
Yeah, well,
That's
sometimes I do duos with him, just two acoustics, but the way things are now, man, who knows? You
yeah.
know,
So, what about getting together? You know, getting together and just on online. I know everybody's scrambling, trying to, they're putting up tip jars and everything that they could do. I mean, I really feel sorry for some of the full time musicians in New Jersey, which there's a lot of full time musicians. I mean, guys that didn't teach, guys that just relied on that road and
ah,
getting on the stage and the gigs, like, and traveling. I mean, I just feel terrible for somebody that's got all their eggs in one basket
well, that's why I've been checking out YouTube, like how to be a good bank robber and not get caught.
and not
And
get caught. Yeah.
but
Well,
they,
that's about what you have to be if you're thinking about YouTube as a career. Um, you know, let me tell you, don't. It's just like music. Don't do it as a career. Do it because you love it, and if you love it, then you'll keep doing it. You know what I mean? But I wish everybody luck and all of that. Ron, I'd like to thank you so much for helping me out with everything, checking out my gear and everything on this first podcast from John Thompson Music. Anything else before we close, man? Is there anything else? I mean, go to ronnashguitar.com and definitely download those books or order a copy of the books. And I know they're absolutely wonderful material, and you even maybe get a free poster. So
yeah, look at that, man. And sign up for Zoom and Skype lessons.
that's right. Oh yes, don't forget about the online
If you
lessons. I
mention
mean,
John Thompson's music situation here, what's the name of your podcast again?
it's just John Thompson Music. This is podcast number 1, baby, and I'm just going to keep going as long as I have the ambition and people are tuning in.
Well, if you mention John Thompson, I will give you 50 cents off a lesson.
There you go. That's a total
And
bargain.
a free poster. And
Yes,
well, he did ask me what's in my near future is an empanada in the kitchen.
in the kitchen. All right. Well, you go have your empanada, and we'll end this thing and go out. And like I said, thank you so much, man, for helping me out with everything and being a great friend. And
It's all good, brother.
it's always a pleasure collaborating with you. And so call me, get me in the studio, will you?
It ain't over yet, man.
I know. We got to wait till this thing is over. All right. Peace, everybody. Out. Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to John Thompson Music. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button. Go to my YouTube channel playlists and look under JT Live. That's where you'll find all my free stuff, bass lessons, guitar lessons, video podcasts, and the like. Until then, peace, love, and music for all.